After a few days rest from the disaster at Cape Caution, it was time for me to start thinking about my boat. The insurance company had informed me that Dinghy 1 Kenobi is a total write-off. I knew this meant one thing. It's time for me to start rebuilding this boat from the ground up. The process had to start somewhere. So after our initial assessment, Bob and I decided to start the teardown. We started with the electronics and all of the wiring on the boat. Bob has been my marine mechanic for as long as I can remember. I really trust his experience and his expertise. I can't do this job without him. For the most part, removing the many runs of wire in the boat was relatively easy. I was really surprised about how much wire there actually was. Most of the wire ran in channels underneath the boat deck. We've had to be very careful to make sure not to damage the electrical components. Guys, I am in here inside of Dinghy 1 Kenobi. We've started to remove all of the center console and all the heating and lighting up in the top. There's not really any wiring left. There's a few wires that are running from the bow here to the stern. So we're gonna be doing those next. I am so excited. We're gonna do a full custom adventure boat here, guys. I'll fill you in shortly. We have taken apart most of the boat. So here's the driver's seat with all of our controls and stuff. Everything has been pulled and moved, and there's not really much left. It sucks. The Dinghy 1 Kenobi is gonzoed, but that's what happens. We're just happy that we were safe in the end of the day. A boat is a boat, so it can always be fixed, and that's exactly what we're gonna show you. To manage the budget of this project, we plan to reuse as much as we can. It's really important for us to take it slow and do it right. On the other side of things here, we have our motor. This motor has a sunken cylinder, okay? This one has a bit of a cracked bracket down here. So yeah, we got a lot of things going on with this. We're hoping that our 9.9 is okay, because it was on the high side when the boat went under because it got tilted over, and this was the high side. So we're really hoping that, yeah, that gets all worked out nicely. So I just deflated the tubes. They're just like drooping down now. And I'm just unbolting the actual cab, our sleeping quarters, let's say. And then down below here, we've got all these bolts along the edge. For that, I've got to go around the whole cab and unbolt them all. Cut the seal for the Sikaflex down the top of that. And then there's a couple brackets inside the boat itself. So I'll do those next. We're getting close to actually removing the roof. You can see that the seat's just sitting on the side now. Yeah, we're just about ready to remove the roof of the boat, and we'll take this piece off next. Overall, this project has been going great. I'm just hoping that it goes as smoothly for the rest of it. With all of the wiring and electronics sorted out, it was now time for us to remove the roof and the cabin. Our plan was to unbolt the main cabin structure, cut the Sikaflex water barrier, and remove the cabin in 2 pieces. Now, that sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? Well, for starters, I can't even tell you how many bolts there were attaching the main cabin to the floor. I never thought I would finish getting all of those bolts out. Most of the bolts were corroded or jammed. It took us hours. So it's loose?
Glued everywhere, right?
You've got a couple bolts in, or they're all undone? Okay. Okay. The next part of this task is to physically remove the main cabin from the boat. Sounds simple, but easier said than done. This structure weighs about 300 pounds and is extremely awkward to manage at any height. So, after a little thinking, we came up with a plan. Fortunately for us, my friend Russ still has his brand new tractor parked in the hangar. And also fortunate for us, he forgot the keys in the ignition. Unfortunately, neither of us know how to drive a tractor, and that's why Russ's instructions were to not touch it. we're not gonna let that stop us. Never being one to let something potentially dangerous slow me down, I jumped in the tractor to give it a try. The plan was to use the forks on the tractor like giant barbecue tongs. I was gonna lift the structure straight up, clear the side of the boat, and then back the tractor away. First, I did a couple trial runs in the tractor just to get a feel for how things work. Before long, I realized that I might be the best tractor operator in history. I was having a blast. As I mentioned, Bob is an amazing mechanic. Bob is not an amazing driving instructor. Every time I raised or lowered the forks, Bob seemed to move directly into the path of danger. Finally, we sorted out what we're doing, and now it's time to lift off the roof. After a tricky bit of hand-eye coordination, I managed to get the forks positioned directly in the door and window opening. I raised the hydraulics and the cabin started to move. Our plan was working. At first, the cabin stuck to the side frame. I had to shake the forks to get it off. Okay guys, Andreas is actually here with me right now.
It's really crappy that this happened, but the boat that's gonna Dinghy 1 Kenobi 2.0 is gonna be amazing. It's really cool.
If you guys don't remember, Andreas came and helped me get Dinghy 1 Kenobi back out of Mexico. So that was the last time we were doing something. So we're trying to get into an aluminum shop, and it sounds like that we might get in really quickly. The steps are, I'm gonna sit down with them. We're gonna talk about options. We're gonna put it into their software, and we're gonna start looking at costing. So that'll give us an idea real quick of what's about to happen. Yeah, how cool this thing is, just so we can like start with a costing of some sort and see what it's like. So I am so excited for next week. Even though it felt a little strange tearing apart Dinghy 1 Kenobi, it also felt like a new and exciting beginning in this first chapter of our rebuild. Please remember to like and subscribe. I am so looking forward to having you join me on my next episode of Do It with Darryl.